Hey everybody, it's MommaOG. I am back with another reaction. Today I am doing something a little bit different. I got a comment recently on one of the videos that I talk about my anxiety. And this viewer, Stevie09, said that they understood me anxiety-wise, and that if I haven't heard it yet, I should listen to the song There by Radiohead, and that it helps. I don't know if Stevie's a woman or a man, but that it helps them with their anxiety. So I went ahead and added it to my list of songs to do sooner rather than later. Just the name of the song itself intrigues me. There, it's like somebody's trying to comfort you. I am familiar with Radiohead. I know a few of their songs, mostly the stuff that's been played on the radio, a couple that I have not, but I do not know this song. I never even heard the title of it. In case you haven't seen any of the reactions where I do address my anxiety, I have anxiety that's peaked recently due to things I'm not going to talk about, but anxiety has been a part of my life for decades. So it comes and goes and remanifests itself in different ways according to what's going on in my life. But I'm not going to get into the details of that. We'll see what this song brings and what it makes me feel, and maybe I'll talk about some of that after. Stevie, thank you for the suggestion. Before we get started, if you would like to request a specific reaction, you can click on a donation link down in the description, send along the information of the song you'd like me to hear, and I will get it recorded as soon as possible. I also take notes while I'm reacting, so if you see me looking down, I'm just writing down a couple of things so that I don't forget what I want to say when it's time to talk. I've got my earbuds in. I hope I'm ready for this. Let's take a listen. Huh. That tracks.
Just 'cause you feel it doesn't mean it's Just 'cause you feel it
Some of these animal sceneries are reminding me of some dreams I've had, or daydreams or something. I don't know. Rodents having tea in the forest and cats getting married. I can't lie and say that I haven't thought about some of this stuff.
Just 'cause you feel doesn't mean it's there.
Mm. Mm. Hmm. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Mm. Okay. I'm definitely going to have to go over the lyrics because I didn't catch all of them. The one that I did catch that smacked me in the face was just because you feel it doesn't mean it's there. I'm going to just talk first before I go into the lyrics about what I got from the song instinctually. It felt incredibly hypnotic, a little bit emotionally uneasy. It had a lot of repetition. And then the atmosphere of the visuals that I was seeing also created an uneasiness. I felt like the tension kind of built up throughout the song until, right after he put those shoes on, things just kind of went off the rails a little bit. I'm trying not to also describe how I can relate to some of these things that I am describing with my anxiety, because I want to save that for the end, for later. The drums kind of reminded me of a heartbeat, kind of gave it a rhythmic momentum, but heartbeat awareness plays a huge role in my anxiety. As a matter of fact, I am currently wearing a Zeo monitor, heart monitor, because of it. I've been feeling palpitations over the last few months, and, doctor decided to put this thing on me for a couple of weeks to kind of document what I'm doing when these things happen. Sometimes I become hyper aware of my own heartbeat. Sometimes I feel a bit of a fluttering when I'm feeling anxious. And I don't know if it's actual irregular beating, because of the anxiety, or if there's something more serious going on, or what. That's what the monitor's for. But my heartbeat has been a theme in my life for the last few months. So the drum and the rhythm of that song kind of reminded me of that. Earlier, I mentioned how like the tension kind of built over the course of the song, and then it kind of let loose after he put the coat and the shoes on and started running. It kind of built into like a bit, I wouldn't say absolute chaos, but just a little bit of chaos, which I instantly wrote, I wrote down that's kind of like my brain. That's how it works. It builds itself up. And then finally my brain is just going 90 miles an hour. And then my body starts to react to that heartbeat, sweats, panic feeling. Yeah, so that kind of reminded me of the process of when my anxiety starts to turn into panic. I feel like Tom's vocal delivery, even though I didn't catch all the lyrics, I felt like the actual delivery of it kind of reflected a sense of like inner conflict, but yet you try to console yourself and try to calm yourself down. In the video itself, the theme of the forest was dark, which added to the whole theme of the song. But there were moments where there was sources of light here and there. Like at first there was a spot where you could see branches that were lit up. And then you'd see these scenes with animals, just these little bits of light and positivity or just better thoughts. So that just kind of stuck out to me. Now, the part where he finds the coat, which I also felt was kind of a source of light because it was light in color, but I also felt there was like a little bit of light shown on it. And then he puts it on and it just made me think of a cloak, which in this context would be a temporary fix. I don't even know if everybody that's watching this is going to understand what I mean by all of these little, this cloak and a temporary fix and all that. I mean, I've said in a recent reaction that it's very hard to describe my anxiety and the way my brain works to people who don't go through this themselves. So I apologize if some of you are just like, what in the fuck is she talking about? This is a real thing that many people experience, and it's not exactly easy to talk about to anybody. So yes, then he found the shoes, got rid of his old shoes, put on the new shoes and started running, but then lost one and then instantly got stuck in the mud. The mud started kind of building up over his whole body. Branches were growing out, and that to me just kind of represents being stuck sometimes in these situations where the anxiety kind of takes over, even physically takes over your body, and there's nothing you can do to get out of it except let time pass. That was pretty amazing. I directly related to that, metaphorically, of course. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lyrics. Okay, it looks like there's an about, which I'll read after. It's pitch dark. I go walking in your landscape. Broken branches trip me as I speak. That reminds me of how I talk sometimes. I'll be meaning to talk about something, but something trips me up and I go off on a tangent. Just because you feel it doesn't mean it's there. Just because you feel it doesn't mean it's there. That feels like a coping mantra, something you tell yourself in the midst of, your anxiety. Like, you may be feeling this, but it doesn't mean it's real. There's always a siren singing you to shipwreck. Don't reach out, don't reach out. Steer away from these rocks. We'd be a walking disaster. Don't reach out, don't reach out. Just because you feel it doesn't mean it's there. Someone on your shoulder. Okay, so yeah, I was trying to figure out what the background vocals or lyrics were too. Couldn't quite understand everything. Just because you feel it doesn't mean it's there. Someone on your shoulder. They're there. Why so green and lonely and lonely and lonely. Heaven sent you to me, to me, to me. We are accidents waiting, waiting to happen. We are accidents waiting, waiting to happen. Yeah. This part about there's always a siren singing you to shipwreck. Historically, when you hear the word siren relating to a shipwreck, you think of like a mermaid or a woman or even a mermaid. I don't know, something leading you to your demise. When I first heard that word siren in the song, I took it literal, like, always hearing this buzzing in your brain because of everything that's going on in there. And it sometimes singing you to shipwreck, even though it's just this literal noise in your head. Steer away from these rocks. Yeah, this song is like a combination of recognizing and acknowledging some of the things, even metaphorically, that go on with anxiety. This is how I'm interpreting it. Mind you, it may not even be what the song's about. I don't know. But it's also the self-soothing aspect of anxiety, or the attempt at self-soothing, that most of the time for me, like recent times anyway, when things get really bad, is just doesn't work. Yeah, so it's a combination of acknowledging this stuff and then practicing the self-soothing. Extremely interesting. I'm going to read this about section. Released on May 26, 2003 as the first single from Hail to the Thief, There describes human struggle against the evil forces of temptation that vie to lead us astray. Okay? Song is marked by heavy use of tom-tom drums throughout. Okay, so this has 6 contributors, so of course we take this stuff with a grain of salt. Even though this says it's directly about temptation that lead us astray, I think songs are open to interpretation by everybody. I know that most Aurora songs that I hear, I can relate to many aspects of them many times, but that may not always reflect what the songs were actually written about. So that's the beauty with music, is that it's open to interpretation. And I think many of the artists that create this music are completely fine with that. It's part of art, like even actual art, painting and drawings, all, it's all open to interpretation according to your own life experiences, your own perception, your own thought processes, everything. And that's a beautiful thing. It's a good thing. So the song is marked by heavy use of tom-tom drums throughout, played by both Johnny Greenwood and Ed O'Brien, in addition to Phil Selway, on murky reverb-laden guitars. Over the course of a relatively long 5 minutes, the track builds into a loud crescendo topped with a distorted guitar riff. The beat and intensity of the song have made it a crowd favorite at the band's live performances. By the time it was finished, Tom felt it was the best thing they've ever recorded. An alternative title to the track is The Bony King of Nowhere. The track received a mention in Tommy Orange's namesake 2018 novel There to portray character Dean Oxendean's lack of trust for his own thoughts in Chapter 2, representing the Native American loss of identity. The book was not named after this track, however, but after a quote by Gertrude Stein instead. Okay, so this doesn't really officially say what the song's about. So again, I leave it at the fact that music is open to interpretation. And I absolutely could relate to that as far as my anxiety goes. Stevie, thank you so much for suggesting this. I get it. I get it. I'm going to definitely add this to my playlist, listen to it several more times, and I'm sure that I will notice more and more about it each time I listen to it. That's usually what happens. It's hard to grip everything in a first-time listen. Thank you all so much for being here to share this with me. I will see you on the next one. Hey, Mr. Bubba, you're going to have a jalapeno pepper for the first time ever. You ready to try it? Mmm. Is that good? You like it?